Matt Taylor joins us. Matt, we saw a bit of Storm Barra earlier. How bad is it going to be?
Well, thankfully, Ben, very good afternoon to you. It's not going to be as bad as we saw with Storm Arwen, but conditions continue to deteriorate, as we've seen here in Blackpool. Widespread gales across the country through the rest of today, and for some across parts of northern England and Scotland, we could see some snow, even blizzards on the hills.
Hello, good afternoon. Very wet and very windy for the rest of the day across the capital, courtesy of Storm Barra, which is a very deep area of low pressure swinging eastwards as we head through this afternoon and for much of the night tonight too. Now, there is a Met Office weather warning in place across the London area for the strength of the winds. Some really strong gusty winds, particularly towards the late afternoon, first part of the evening. That's when they'll peak for us, unhelpfully coinciding with the evening rush hour. Possibly some damaging gusts of around 50 miles an hour for quite some time across a fairly wide area, and then it will turn showery and a bit less windy overnight tonight.
And now Sally's here with the weather. Sally, Mary was just talking about Storm Barra. Have we escaped the worst of it?
Well, it seems to have moved through. As of about 10 minutes ago, it cleared East London, and so now it's been clearing through Essex. So we have probably now got a bit of a lull, some dry weather, the wind's easing off a touch, and then the wind's probably then escalate a little bit more overnight with a few showers moving through. So yeah, we've got through the worst of it. There has been in some areas nearly up to a centimetre of rain. It all depends on how quickly that fell in what space of time. So I'm sure we'll hear a little bit more about if anyone's been affected over, well, the next few hours, probably into tomorrow. Anyway, let's take a little look at the forecast for the rest of today. Well, I'm not sure how many leaves we'll have left on the trees by the end of today. We did start off with a beautiful red sky, a little bit of the old shepherd's warning, then Storm Barra has moved in. Still some strong winds to come and some heavy showers as well. Now, if we look at the satellite, this was the band of rain that's been moving across us throughout the day, starting to clear off to the east, but chance of some fairly heavy showers still to come later on. And we've still got the wind warning in place, so we could see some gusts of 50 miles per hour, possibly causing a little bit of disruption to travel and a bit stronger near the coast. That's in place until midnight tonight. Tomorrow, rather, is a day of some bright spells, but also still some showers moving through. Probably likely to see a few more as we go through into the afternoon. In fact, they could clump into bands of rain. Temperature-wise, it's going to feel chilly. We've still got quite a blustery day. There we go. Could get down to feeling closer to around freezing. And in some of those showers, there might be a little bit of hail mixed in. Now, tomorrow evening, those showers starting to become a bit more hit and miss, but we're probably likely to see more of them to the north, the south perhaps getting away with fewer. Now the outlook, the all-important outlook. For Thursday and Friday, it just starts to calm down. Quite a lot more dry weather, a few bright spells, but can't still rule out a few showers at times. It's staying chilly. Then as we get to the weekend, the winds become more westerly, so things warm up a touch, but it will be quite cloudy, possible rain at times. That is the full forecast for now.
Yes, it's been a very wild day today across the UK, and those winds have caused some damage. The strongest of the winds have been around coastal areas. Now, recently we had a gust of 86 miles an hour along the west coast of Wales. It's been windy for a few hours along some North Sea coasts as well, gusts of 66 miles an hour. Inland areas typically 40 or 50 miles an hour. Not only have we had these very strong winds, there was some snow briefly over some northern hills of England, and we've also had some snow in southern Scotland. The weather has improved here as the snowier weather has moved northwards into Highland and Grampian. Now, the storm itself underwent explosive cyclogenesis, so it deepened rapidly, hence those really strong winds. It's going to weaken, though, overnight tonight, and the winds will start to ease down. You can see all that cloud that's wrapped around the storm. That's that sweep of rain and briefly some snow in Highland and Grampian. That's moving away, though, but we continue to feed in showers or longer spells of rain around the storm overnight. Still going to be windy, particularly around some western coast, Wales and the southwest. Temperatures aren't going to be as low as they were last night, of course, because of the cloud, wind and rain. Now, it won't be as windy tomorrow, but still strong winds across the Northern Isles, Northern Ireland, much of England and Wales. In parts of Wales and the southwest, winds could gust around 60 miles an hour still. And we've still got this mixture of showers or longer spells of rain, brief glimpses of sunshine perhaps, and again some winteriness over the higher ground in northern parts of the UK because we're still in quite chilly air. Temperatures sitting again at around 6 or 7 degrees. By the time we get though to Thursday, the storm is no more. Continues to weaken, the winds continue to drop as pressure rises, and we start to see a little weather front coming in from the Atlantic.
Still wet and windy as we saw out there.
Certainly is. It's been a busy day of weather today from Storm Barra, of course, which has been barrelling its way eastwards across the whole country. We haven't borne the brunt of it. That's been a lot further west. But here is one casualty. Some really strong gusty winds around, gusting 40 to 50 miles an hour for the second half of the afternoon. And of course, there's been a lot of heavy rain around as well. Here's a rather sodden Oxford Street, as you can see. And if you are still travelling for the rest of the evening, then do take care because there's plenty of surface water around, some really large puddles out there, and still some strong gusty winds to come as well, although they have eased down a little. There is still a Met Office weather warning in force, valid until midnight, of course, for the strength of the winds. As for the rest of the week, well, if you haven't had enough wet and windy weather, then it's still going to be wet and windy at times, although Thursday is looking an awful lot calmer.
A very good evening to you. Staying so windy in the next few hours, the strongest gusts likely before midnight, and a good deal of wet weather to come, and for some of us turning wintry with some sleet and snow in the next few hours.